All right, welcome back. The first thing I want to do as a warm up today is I'm going to cover 10 things that will change your marriage for the worse. Okay, I'm going to fly through them because we are kind of limited on time today. I want to make sure that we finish on time. All right, 10 things that will change your marriage for the worse. Basically, in one shape, form, or the other, if you participate in this type of behavior, if at least one of you participates in this type of behavior, your marriage will end up straight in the, you know where, right? In the poto poto. All right. So, with that being said, I'm just gonna fly through them really quickly. We're not gonna waste much time on this. If you have any questions around any one of them, then you can let me know in the comments, in the chat, and then we'll expand on it. But I'm just gonna assume, outside of that, I'm gonna assume that you know what we're talking about. Number 10, we're gonna count down. Number 10 is complacency. Okay, complacency will happen, but obviously, you want to catch it as soon as humanly possible. Okay, other ways that we call it see finish, right? Nigerian people will call it see finish. If you let it linger on for too long, there's no guarantee. It might be over. Not to welcome. All right. Number 9, loss of individuality. Okay, as much as the easiest thing ever is to say things like this is a marriage. What do you need to be yourself for? Like, listen, if you have to even have that conversation at all, it's already bad. Okay, that's number 9. Individuality. Number 8. See, I'm flying through it. I told you, if you want me to expand on any one of them, I'll do that. But let's just fly through it. D-Love, welcome. We're just warming up. That's all. We're warming up with some lessons before we get started. Number 8 is mismanaged expectations. There will be expectations. Okay, it's just what it is. It's not something that people decide to do. Okay, it's just what it is. All right, people have expectations. All right, and a lot of time it's subtle. It's stuff that you're made of. The way you were raised, all this kind of stuff create expectations. So you have to make sure you're managing your expectations. You have to make sure that you're giving your partner the freedom to express their expectations. That's all you can do with that. If you do that, you probably will be winning that game already. Number 7, we're counting down 10 things that can take your marriage for the worse. Okay, disagreement around finances. It is what it is. It's not the finance itself. It's just that if you have disagreement around finances, if at least one person has bad financial behavior, or if at least one person is complaining bitterly about finances, this will create friction that may go completely out of control. Okay, then you start having people say, "Hey, I want a second job," or we don't have enough time together. Oh, you know what? You spent that money you're not supposed to spend. Wait, what about the money you borrowed the other day? These kind of things can take your marriage for a downward spiral, tailspin. Just think about that. All right. Number six is the good old. This one, most people literally don't prepare for this. Okay. Number 6 is unresolved conflicts. Okay. People have unresolved conflicts because they don't have the skills. Okay. It's not a skill that even if somebody tried to tell them in the beginning, they tend to not even, they can't comprehend. What do you mean? Like they know what conflict is. A lot of them know what conflict is at work and stuff like that, but they kind of like have this expectation that this is a marriage. We should just be able to talk and it's over. Well, unfortunately, it's not that simple. If it wasn't that simple at your job, expect it to be that simple. But unresolved conflicts would definitely take that marriage down the spiral, down the poto gota. Number 5, selfishness. Okay, selfishness. I didn't say it's lack of self-love now. Selfishness. Okay, if you're a selfish person, especially if you're not aware that you're a selfish person, it's even worse in that case. A lot of people are selfish. They're not really aware. Sometimes they have to hit rock bottom before they actually pay attention to that, because they were busy arguing that they're not selfish. But selfishness would definitely, yeah, that's, what did I call it? Number fifth thing that will change your marriage for the worse. Okay. The fourth thing that can change your marriage for the worse is constant criticism and disrespect. Okay. Hey, real things happen. Real things are happening. You're not overthinking it. She did something wrong. He did something wrong. But even when you have a good reason why you're complaining and criticizing, even when you're right,
you're right.
Your marriage is plagued with constant criticism from at least one side. It doesn't matter if you're right. It's gonna get worse and worse. Okay, and it gets very difficult because obviously you feel like you know what you're talking about and they actually were wrong and all this kind of stuff. But again, just think about the energy. Just think about all of this as energy. All right. You can be right. You might have a good reason why you're complaining and being even disrespectful. But I'm just letting you know that constant criticism and disrespect, will take your marriage for the worse. Okay. So that's number 4 of 10 things that will change your marriage for the worse. Let's go straight to number 2. I think I'm moving pretty decent, right? Many people listen. The idea of this is not to coach you now. It's just for you to take a look at this and say, hey, maybe there's one of those things I could improve on. That's all it takes. Just the open mindedness that maybe I could improve on this, right? Number two is feelings and sense of betrayal. Feelings and sense of betrayal. Okay, it doesn't have to be the actual betrayal, but if they feel like it, if there's a sense of betrayal in your relationship, your marriage will start changing for the worse. And if you're not very lucky, they might be feeling like this for a very, very, very long time before you actually find out, in which case it might be too late and you might not be able to save it. But just pay attention. Again, this is a call to pay attention to certain things, and a very good way to pay attention. You've seen a lot of people talk about kindness. This is one good way. If you focus on being kind, there's a very low chance that someone will start feeling a sense of betrayal in a marriage with you. All right. Number 1, last but not least. Anybody want to guess before I put this number 1 here? Anybody want to guess number 1? Anybody want to guess what the number 1 would be? Number 1. Anybody want to guess? Try it. What would number 1 be for you? Something. Number 10 things. Okay, 10 things. We're talking about 10 things that will change your marriage for the worse. What would number 1 be for you? What would number 1 be for you? Maybe it's the same as mine. I'll just chill a little bit, see if you guys have anything that you want to share with regards to that. Number 1, what would number 1 be? Anybody? I'm waiting. There's a delay, so I'm waiting. Chia, welcome. How far? What would be number 1 for you that you feel like would definitely, I haven't mentioned yet? Okay, so let me go through some of the ones I talked about already before we finish this. Number 10 is complacency. Number 9 is loss of individuality. Number 8 is mismanaged expectations. Number 7 is disagreement around finances. Okay, so you can add bad financial behavior to that. Okay, but it's really the disagreement. People can have bad financial behavior. If you guys can find your way to agreement, you guys will be fine. You can even mitigate that by putting measures in place to be on the same page, right? But it's really the disagreement, not being on the same page, that will destroy everything. Unresolved conflicts, that's number 6. Number 5 is selfishness. Number 4 is constant criticism and disrespect. Number 3 is neglect and abandonment. Number 2 is feelings and sense of betrayal. Okay, all right. And number 1 will be lack of intimacy. Okay, in any form, physical, emotional, all of it, right? If there's no connection, about forget that thing. That marriage is a scam. It's not gonna work, But if you have anything to share with us, any additional one you want to share with us with respect to this topic, 10 things that will make your marriage worse. Okay. If you have anything else you want to share, please feel free to share it in the comment or in the chat box. All right. 10 things that will change your marriage for the worse. That's basically what we just covered. All right. With that being said, I'll be right back in about 20 seconds. We've got some topics to cover.
It's your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Make love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough.